Hello, thank you so much for coming to my channel today. I so much appreciate you. If today is the first time you are coming to my channel, thank you so much for coming along. And as always, I would highly encourage you to please click that subscribe button down there. You do see that subscribe button, please help me to click that subscribe button down there and also the notification bell so that anytime I release new content, you'll be the first person to get notification so that you wouldn't miss any of my content. Because believe me, I'm always going to provide you with very enriching and very informing content when it comes to Scrum and Agile. And please help me to share this with your network and colleagues so that we all continue to build this community of practice. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming along and trusting me. I so much appreciate you for helping me to share this content, liking it, and subscribing. I so much appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so today we'll be talking about something very important because I've been experienced this before, and I would love you guys to also learn from my experience. A lot of times when a company hires you as a scrum master, as an agile coach to help them in their agile journey, they will tell you, oh, we are a really high performing team. But when you come on board, you realize that really there are a lot of things that should have been taking place in the readiness stage of their agile transformation. Sometimes it's really so quite not so clear what's the difference between agile adoption and agile transformation. So that's why today I thought we could talk about these two things. What does it mean to be agile adopting? What does it mean to adopt agile? What does it mean to transform to agile? What is the difference? And even in that part of, or in the journey of that agile transformation, how do we start? What is the first step? So today I'll be walking us through in terms of the difference between agile adoption and agile transformation. And in that journey of agile transformation, the first stage is the readiness, right? So you need to be ready. And what are the activities that should happen to make sure that the organization, the team, whoever is going to adopt and transform fully to agile is ready? Okay. So as a scrum master, you should know these at the beck and call. Even when you are struggling on what to put in place, believe me, today's content is very enriching in your ability to help organization and team to adopt and transform fully to become agile. Okay. Who is ready as I am for today's conversation? You are. All right. Thank you. Let's go. So, um, as you can see on my slide, we'll be talking about again the difference between this agile transformation and agile adoption, and then I'll make it much more practical and engaging because this is something we experience on a day-to-day basis as a scrum master and as an agile coach. Now let's start with agile adoption. When it comes to adoption, what really comes to mind? Okay, when it comes to adoption, the first thing that comes to mind is the application of the new set of tools, practice, and technique. When organizations are thinking about this way of going agile, right, they are thinking about how do we apply these new tools? Perhaps they've been using different tools, especially, for example, in waterfall environments. Most organizations use Gantt charts for tracking of their projects deliverables. But in Agile, we realize that Gantt chart has little or no input, right? The use of Gantt chart becomes limited. We have Jira, we have Azure DevOps, we have Confluence. We use these tools in order to track, in order to manage, in order to in order to create visibility. But in waterfall, Gantt chart is so much pronounced. Again, in terms of project management under waterfall, the use of tools like Microsoft projects is so pronounced. But in agile environments, I mean, we have new set of tools we could use. In agile, also we have engaging tools like Miro and Mural. So when organization is trying to embrace agile in the adoption of agile, I mean, they are thinking of these new tools which is different or which are different from the old tools that the team and organization are used to. I realized there was a time I went for an interview and the panel, well, one of the interviewers was asking me, what tool do I use in tracking and in keeping my team in check? I was like, okay. I use a couple of tools, but I use Jira. Oh, she was like, oh, I heard about Jira before, but I haven't tried it, but I'm open to see how that works. Right. So in this situation, I mean, you'll see that there is that application or that experience of or anticipation of learning new tool. Now, one thing I have tried as much as I can to explain here is the difference between doing agile and being agile. Doing agile is more or less like borrowing some agile practices, right, in order to resolve a problem. But being agile is the mindset. So when it comes to adopting agile, it's more or less like the application of those agile practice, knowledge, and tool. Now, when it comes to agile transformation is much more deeper than agile adoption. Okay? So when you are working as a scrum master and your organization is more or less on this stage of um, agile transformation or agile adoption, as a scrum master, you should be able to decipher, is this organization really, fully agile or in the stage of agile bots? It's quite so funny when I say agile bots. I mean, but that's the reality, right? So, agile transformation is the change in behavior. It's quite so difficult for organization to really change their culture. You have to understand that this organization culture is something that has been in place for quite a number of years. So if you are coming in as a scrum master and you are hoping to change it just in a twinkle of an eye, believe me, most of the times you're going to hit a dead end. That's where you see all those, folks coming after you. Okay, so you think you want to change things here, right? Let's see how you're going to do that. If you haven't watched the video I made on the different personalities in an agile environment, better go watch the video. I would highly encourage you to go watch the video because you need to understand the personality types. All right. So when it comes to agile transformation, you're talking about the change in behavior, right? And how does that change in behavior sync with the agile practice, agile value and principle? Remember, we have the 12 agile principles. So if organization is transforming into agile, how does that synchronize with the 12 principles and even with the 4 values of the agile manifesto? Don't forget that, right? Agile transformation has to deal with this idea of being agile. It is the mindset, the way of operating, the modus operandi. Okay. Now, in this agile transformation, what are the activities that should take place when organization is thinking about going agile, or when they are thinking about this agile transformation? Remember, it's not just adopting agile. It starts from adopting agile and then it goes to transforming into agile. Now, what activities should be in place? I like this quotation by Alexander Graham Bell. Alexander Graham Bell once said that, quote, before anything else, preparation is the key to success, end quote. You have to prepare before you can begin to go transform to agile. Most organizations don't take a lot of activities in place before they transform into agile. So as a scrum master, it is one of your prerogatives. If you're an agile coach listening to me, it is one of your prerogatives to help organization, to put some things in place in their readiness, especially, organizations that are still baby agile. Now, what activities should be in place? There are lots of information. If you go to Google and type activities for agile transformation, you will see tons and tons and tons. But let's make it realistic. Let's make it much more engaging here. Okay. I've been working as a Scrum Master for a number of years now, and I've also worked with startups, even mid-sized organizations, and even enterprise size organizations. So I have been able to work in a capacity to help organizations to put this in place in their readiness stage. Remember, in agile adoption, there are 4 stages. Today, we're talking about the readiness. So what activities should be in place when organization is going to be ready in order to transform into agile? Now, talk about, it starts with the first question: is agile right for me? It is very important for every organization to answer that question. And in answering that question, they need to understand what and why before how and when. The what is, okay, now we're thinking about going to Agile. Why are we going into Agile? Now, how and when is an iterative, is an incremental level. It's not something that has to go entirely and wholly at once. Keep that in mind. Now, the organization needs to have a common understanding of Agile. I remember there was this organization I worked with. Um, so when I came on board, I used to make notes, observe, go to meetings, talk with people, just for me to have more knowledge about things happening around. I mean, which should be the norm, right? So in my efforts to really help them to transform to become fully agile, so I engage in a workshop section. One of the tools I use in my workshop session is Slido. If you go to slido.com, you can be able to create like a profile, free profile, and then you can use it to engage your organization and team members. It's quite so engaging. Please try that. You will love it. Thank me later for that. Anyways, so in that section, I used to ask them, if you have to give a one word summary of what Agile is, what would you say? And people started putting words into that. Oh, Agile is this, Agile is that. So organization need to have an understanding of what Agile could mean for them. Now, you need to identify and establish roles and organization. How would you structure your Scrum team, an Agile team? Right? You need to determine suitability of products. What products are you going to use that Agile to work? You need to determine team willingness and capability. Sometimes you don't force people to, even when organizations try to impose people to adopt Agile, sometimes you see that resistance. So there should be that readiness, the willingness, and the capability from the team structure. You need to understand level of executive and stakeholder buy-in. If stakeholders are not willing, if stakeholders are not giving in for that, believe me, as a Scrum Master, it's going to be a lot of work for you. You need to identify your SMEs, subject matter experts, and resource, because you need some kind of support from people. You need to understand the drivers for organization change. Now, I'm going to highly encourage you again to go watch my YouTube I made on the personality types, because when you don't understand the kind of people you're going to work with in this agile transformation journey, it's going to be really overwhelming for you. And you need to evaluate and adapt IT governance. You need to determine education needs, improvement process, right? You need to establish the done criteria. The done criteria, when is it that we're going to be done? User story framework and sizing technique. We understand that every organization have different way of sizing. When I mean sizing, I mean estimation. Are you going to do the estimation in terms of story pointing? Are you going to do the estimation in terms of a different technique? Now, you need to identify the agile tools and infrastructure need. Craft measure of success. How would you measure success, both on the team level and also on the organization level? Now, the last but not the least is you need to understand the current state of engineering and agile. It's quite easy peasy. That's where I'm going to stop for today. And I know that you must have had your own experience in helping organization transition from whatever state they were, whether they were still in the readiness or they have gone to another stage. But I want to hear your thoughts. In your struggle, in your efforts to help team and organization to fully move from adoption of agile to agile transformation, what is your experience? Let's build this community of practice. Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. If you have a question based on this, please share with me. It would be lovely to hear your thoughts and opinion when it comes to this agile transformation and agile adoption. Thank you so much for spending the time with me today. I so much appreciate your time. It is a pleasure meeting with you today. Again, if this is the first time, please help me to click that subscribe button down there and also click the notification bell and help me to share this with your networks. right? And your colleagues on your social media platform. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your opinion. I want to hear your experience. Together, we continue to scrum and then be fully agile. Thank you. In the meantime, hope you stay well. Bye for now.